Hello there, everybody. It is me, Elman, back at it again with another one of these videos. But this time, we're taking a different approach. We're not looking at a Hololive talent. This time, we're rather looking at a V-Shoujo talent. You already know the person because of the title. It is none other than Ironmouse. And before we even start this, I would want to say that I know of Ironmouse, but I don't know much about her. I wanted to do this because a friend of mine said, "Yo, you should do Ironmouse," because we're both Puerto Rican. We're in Puerto Rico, right? We were just hanging out in an airport. I was gonna give him my GameCube controllers for him to fix and clean up. He gave me the idea. Well, rather, he suggested I do it. And honestly, I just ran a poly with either Aura Pantera or Ironmouse 1. So, now you're gonna get some Ironmouse. And if Ironmouse is watching this, I would like to apologize if I get some things wrong in the lore or personality-wise. But enough of that. We've done a long enough intro. Now let's get to the moveset and see where all the good stuff is, right? That's what you came here for. Now, before we even start with the grounded moves and such, I should explain what the rest of these moves are gonna look like. I decided to go with the more feisty Latina approach compared to actually being accurate to the lore, because that's how she's mostly seen and recognized from the clips of what I've seen. And also, this is just an excuse to have a character self-promoting Puerto Rico. O mejor dicho, poniendo Puerto Rico en cualquier cosa, porque el orgullo de Puerto Rico está demasiado alto que tú crees que es la inflación del país. But, yeah, that's the approach I'd like to go with. And I'll start by describing the jab. The jab being a simple 1-2, and then ending with a headbutt. You already know what a regular 1-2 jab and smash is. Many characters have it. But the headbutt, I feel, could be good to, like, send upwards. You know, like, she's slamming the head down, like, BAM! And then it just sends them a bit up. And she could lead some aerials into this, which we'll get to later. But I feel like this is a good start because she has horns in her design. That probably means she's got a strong forehead. And if you got a strong forehead, why don't you use it for headbutts? It's a pretty strong weapon at close range. I'm not gonna lie. Now for Ironmouse's forward tilt, I decided to borrow something from Me Sword Fighter. Well, yeah, the forward tilt. But what weapon is Ironmouse holding there exactly? It's a machete, or machete. I really don't know how to say it in English. Oh, machete. But it's not really a real one made of metal. It's actually one of those wooden ones with the Puerto Rican flag you see in stores. This is the best picture I could find. Well, not best picture, I just went to Google and picked a good one. Because I remember seeing these in stores, but the store I used to actually see them in has since then disappeared off the face of the earth. It was called Pitusa. Not sure if this rings any bells, or if it's just the west area thing, or like southwest area thing. But I digest. That's what I think would be her forward tilt. Like, those things can be seen everywhere. It's more of a, why not let her have it? Now, for full up tilt, it's kind of identical to Villager's up tilt, so I don't think I need a visualizer here, because I think we can all see it, you know, waving upwards and all that. But with the Puerto Rican flag. Not much to explain here. Heck, make it have like a similar function too. If anything, give it like the Smash 4 hitbox where it goes in around in a twirl rather than left and right like Ultimate does. And as for down tilt, double down on the Puerto heritage when she's crouching. You know, she's throwing that tostón, man. I sounded so corny there, but screw it. I'm gonna leave it in the recording because those fucking things are delicious. Especially, actually, I might get into a food rant right now, you know. But yeah, what this essentially does is kind of like a fixed knockback pop-up to your opponent on the ground, is what I was thinking here. And if it misses, right, you could let the tostón itself work like a projectile, like bounce on the ground, boop, then it's hitting someone. You know, obviously give it some decent amount of lag, or this move can turn out to be pretty nutty. But in an item setting, oh, I can see a lot of people having fun with this. Like, you could use it to hit the smash ball if you also wanna not get involved in an attack of sorts. You could use it to trigger a smart bomb somewhere. I don't know how this would actually work, because from the drawing I wanted to put, it's kind of a small angle. Could use some tinkering, but I kind of like the way this move works. And if you notice, I kind of themed these three moves based on all regular Puerto Rican pride and stuff, which I didn't notice until I was reading this, which is really funny when we get to the next group of attacks, the smash attacks, which were all themed on something specific. Now, we're going to take a look at Ironmouse's smash attacks here. You already see someone familiar in these, don't you? It's none other than CDawgVA, or ConnorDawgVA, or just Connor. I do not know much about the guy, but I do remember one time he made Ludwig say he had a small wiener. That's all I know of the guy, and I like Ludwig, and I gotta admit, that joke was funny. But let's get on to the smash attacks, shall we? Look, these are gonna be pretty simple to explain. Now, these are based on moments where Ironmouse is in that little robot thing with the monitor, and Connor is kind of getting the award things for her, or like the real life things for her. So these are just what it's gonna be based on. If you see in this first picture, she's like summoning him, and he is just gonna beat them with that little robot thing. With the up smash, she'd be swinging them up, you know, like swinging them up. For the side smash, it's more like a wind up, like a bat. Like, batter up and then BAM! You know? And as for the down one, he's just slamming it into the ground. Like, these smash attacks are pretty self-explanatory. There's nothing I can really say there. But these do look simple on the surface, and really they are. But Ironmouse tends to be seen a lot in real life events with this type of robot thing alongside the CDawgVA. So I feel like this could be kind of appropriate, you know? Or you could easily change these to be something else if Connor or CDawgVA should be removed. But if Joker can summon Arsene for certain attacks, or better example, Bayonetta summons the Madame Butterfly, I think it's called, the big witch lady in her smash attacks for her limbs, yeah, then I firmly believe Connor can appear in the smash attacks to be like, BAM! You know, to get all that damage on. For Ironmouse's throws and grabs, I was thinking her grab animation to be just like Incineroar's, and so to the pummel to make use of her thorns. I think it would be a good match She has horns, let her use them. As for the throws, I was gonna say something stock standard, but then I was like, why not let her have Wolf's down throw? It's kinda savage. And that's what I did. She's gonna have Wolf's down throw. And then when it came to a forward throw, I just picked Mario's. And then I also liked the way his up throw looked for her. And then up throw as well. Now the only one missing would be back throw. And then after seeing Mario's back throw, I was like, I don't know if Ironmouse would spin like that. So I decided, make it more savage. Give her Dr. Mario's back throw. Look at the way he throws the person. No, look. No wonder he's got a PhD. He's a savage. Also, it's a really fun back throw to do because it's like, get out of here. So, those are my picks for her throws. Let's go to the aerial department and then into the specials after that. See you all in the next section. Now for Ironmouse's aerial attacks. I want to start off with neutral air. Looking at this drawing, it looks like Palutena's up air. But I'm not going to use that as a visualizer because it really isn't accurate because Palutena's is a multi-hit. This one has her spread out, including the wings, with her, gonna add some of that, actual lore in there. Make it like Dr. Mario's in there. I know when I drew this, I had in mind like Dr. Mario's in there from a mod called Super Smash Bros. Ultimate S, but I do not have any footage for that. So just imagine this as a sort of, it's a long hitbox type of nair, like long, quote-unquote, long stain hitbox. Her forward air is kind of stock standard, just being Inkling's forward air. Nothing too special about that, really. And if we're going to stock standard her back air too, I want her to do like Wario's back air, hitting someone with the back of her head. Trying to hit with the horns too, gonna add some horn action in there too, like, it's a weapon she can use, why not? And then her up air, just a K-Rool clone, even just like the description I wrote there says. Although, I do say K-Rool Nair, maybe not as a kill move, like just make it like a short poke for combos and such. But then I do want one down there to probably be also like a combo extender. So maybe all her aerials are just combos except for back air. Back air can be the kill aerial. Which in this case, the down air is a bit of a drill move, like the Mii Sword Fighter one, but instead she's using her head downwards. I'm gonna use one of the Mii Brawler downward specials to visualize this, so I can get my point across. And honestly, I think these aerials are all pretty nice, even though they're all stock standard. I do like them for Ironmouse, but if you have any other opinions on what they could be, please let me know. And in that case, I say let's just go for the special attacks now. Alrighty. For Ironmouse's neutral special, this one is gonna be a bit of a fun thing for the Puerto Ricans that are watching the videos, and also my buddy. I don't want to shout him out so I don't dox him, but that controller work was clean, so maybe I'll have to dox him, but I'll just call it the puñeta scream. I don't want to yell it myself right now because I don't want to hurt the headphone users, but this move is kind of self-explanatory. She yells the word puñeta, like, come on, it's a fun move to say, and I'm probably getting demonetized with this. I don't even get monetized at all, so who cares? But essentially what this scream does is that it paralyzes the opponent, and for the longer charge means more time the opponent is stunned. And I was thinking at full charge, let it have like a wind bots to push them away. Maybe that's a little bit too broken, but at the same time, I look at Smash Ultimate's Fighter Pass 2, so it's like, why not, why not? I don't know how good this move will be, but it's there, just to have some fun with there. But on the other opposite side of the vocal spectrum, instead of yelling a curse word, we have her doing a nice musical note. Ironmouse, tends to sing sometimes, karaoke. I think she's done a concert before. Don't quote me on that. But what essentially this move would be is that she would let out a light note with its knockback into combos, like forward air. Basically setting up for an edge guard, or just a kill if it's at a higher percent. Basically like a kill confirm if you think about it. So I like that neutral B and side B, or neutral special and side special, are just two opposite ends of the vocal spectrum, which I think is both ironic, pretty funny, and interesting at the same time. But let's go on to the other ones before I start rambling again like I usually do. Now for Ironmouse's up special, apologies, I raised my voice there. I want her to fly around with something like a jetpack and fly around just like me Gunner's up special that lets her twirl around. But here's the catch. Just like the description says, that is not a jetpack. That is a generator, in reference to how much the power goes out in Puerto Rico. Vete pa'l carajo, Luma. But, I think this would honestly be a bit too on the nose. But at the same time, why not? Like, the goddamn power goes out a lot. Like, come on. Gotta give it some reference there somehow. It's basically part of our culture at this point, I think. And for down special, I had written something about a bike. I don't know where this idea came from. I guess it came from the fact that Ironmouse tends to have like these little robot things to help her go to live events. And that's where the idea came from. But the more I think about it, what if she just had a generic reflector, but with angelic light or something like that, Because she's an angel, a fallen angel, I think, according to the Lord. It's been a while since I saw the Lord video. Either way, she comes from heaven, right? I mean, why not? It could be either that or the bike idea. I don't have a picture of either one, because the bike one, I'm not an artist, as you can see. And as for the reflector one, this came to me while re-recording lines for the special attacks. And I was like, maybe she should have a reflector. But then I think about it, with the puñeta scream, I think that might be a little too broken, because then how are you gonna get in? How is she, gonna be vulnerable to the projectiles for you to be able to get in? But I guess that discussion can be had another time, I think. Now, I think that would be the end for Ironmouse's moveset. But I do want to say something else. For her final smash, I kind of don't have an idea for it, due to my lack of understanding of Ironmouse, with this whole thing being evident about it. So this is why I ask, what would be her final smash? Sorry to leave this kind of a bit incomplete, to say the least. And I hope you enjoyed the Pikachu footage, or P Plus footage, whichever one I picked, because finding Smash Ultimate VODs was easy, but for some reason the Sony Vegas wasn't getting them. But I hope you all enjoyed the video, and leave any other takes and comments down below. Alright? Have a good time. See you all next time. Oh, and before I leave, actually, nah, never mind. I'll leave the next person as a surprise.